Here I've primed my intercessor with Krylon Spanish Moss. I'm going to move over to a Phthalocyanine Green for an underspray, and then a liquitex Vivid Lime Green for my kind of top-down synthol. Both those I did through the airbrush. I don't have any good way to record that, but this is kind of the effect that I ended up with. I'm a big contrast fan. Right here, I'm using some Tamiya panel line, dark brown. Black also looks good. I just kind of like brown with my salamanders a little bit more. I went through, added it. For my edge highlights, I'm going to use my Mystic Blue as kind of a nice thick one as a base. I'm going to go right over it with Fluo, still really thick, and then I'm going to really hone it in with a lime green. And then I'm going to use Dorn Yellow for my spot highlights here. All right. So as you can see, this first layer, this is with the Mystic Blue. This is just a really thick, chunky edge highlight. That's the way that I like to do them. I know that's not how James Workshop does it, but I like big, bold colors on my salamander. So I'm going to go through really, really thick all over this boy as I do the edge highlights here. Here I'm starting to work on the back edge highlights. I really don't like to do it along that little panel line on the very bottom of its leg. I feel like every time I do it, I mess it up, and honestly, I don't feel like it takes a lot away by not having those edge highlights on that very, very back bit. I will add some dots onto these little raised edges on this model. I actually thought I had messed up putting it together because I had never seen those little raised dots before. I don't know if I'd sanded them off or what, but that's about the extent of what I do when I'm doing the back. I mean, who cares? No one's looking at the back. Here, now that I've kind of messed up a little bit, and I'm just going over with it some dark green, and then I'm going to get a wet brush and kind of just blend all that together. I had really shaky hands, so I make mistakes quite often, but I kind of got that cleaned up now. And I'm getting to what my favorite part is, and that's doing the highlights right around the Aquila. I think this is the part where it really, really starts to show what I'm trying to go after with these edge highlights. It gets just really nice and bold around these corners here. While I'm working on this part, I'm just gonna kind of ramble for a little bit. I decided to make this video because there, in my opinion, aren't a lot of different salamander videos out there, and the ones that are out there really kind of stay more towards just your plain Codex Salamander colors. Personally, my favorite part of doing 40K and painting and all that stuff is kind of going a little wild and crazy with my different designs. I've probably painted at this point 5 or 6 different salamander schemes because I'm always wanting to try something new. This is one that I've kind of settled on that I really, really enjoy painting. So I thought I would share this video for anyone else who's kind of looking for some more inspiration for bold salamanders. Here I've used some AK Interactive pencils, weathering pencils. They come in all sorts of different colors. I like this light green for my salamanders. Anytime I want to just add just a touch of highlight that's kind of consistent but not super crazy. Really just trying to show off the fact that these are spherical and they have, they're going to reflect light a little bit more. You could wet blend with these, with regular paint. You can also wet blend with these too if you get them wet, but I find that to be a little sloppy, so I stick with what I've done here. All right, at this point, I've really kind of highlighted the spots that in my head, I imagine where the light's going to be shining hardest on. Those are kind of my medium-sized edge highlights. And now I'm going to come in with this Dorn yellow. You could go white. Since I used a lime green the step before, I kind of like this yellow white. And this is really, for the most part, just dots. There might be some spots, like right here, where I make it a little bit larger. But for the most part, it's just really, really short little areas where I'm adding this last highlight. In this video, I don't go back with white, or I would probably use an ivory if I was going to go even brighter with like a spot highlight. I go back and forth on how much I like that. I think leaving it at this yellow kind of fits more with the salamander color scheme that I'm going for. But, with anything you're doing, you can always choose what other colors that you want. These are just the colors that I've kind of settled on for what I like my salamanders to look like. I've gone all over the place with the ones that I've done. I've had pearl green, some that almost look like dark angels when they're all said and done. But this kind of almost vaporwave like style is what I've settled on, is what I really like to do for my Space Marine salamanders. And this is kind of what I'm aiming for my edge highlights of my salamanders. I'm gonna probably wrap it up here and continue the next bit of painting in my next video. Thanks for stopping by.